Hey, welcome to your midweek microdose where I share things that I find fun, funny, fascinating, and potentially life-changing. If you don't yet know me well, I'm Kayla. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, mindset specialist, and psychedelics facilitator. And today I thought I would talk about the inherent meaninglessness of life. Ah, life can feel so meaningless. And so by that I mean, what if, just like I said, what if life were inherently meaningless and life just is what it is? And we are the ones that get to apply meaning or get to create the meaning. And so I'll start with a little story like I like to do. If you are a client of mine, you've probably heard this story. I think I may have talked about this in one of my past recordings, but I think it is just a good and kind of funny example of how we get to decide what life really means. So outside of our bedroom window, we have this big tree, and every year it is full of little birds' nests. And so one time, a couple of years ago, oh, and these birds start chirping very early in the morning before the sun comes up. So one morning, I was laying in bed, or my husband and I were laying in bed, and the little birds started chirping. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, it's so cute, these little birdies out there just chirping away, like, how adorable. And my husband from the other side of me did not have the same experience. So his experience was these stupid birds. Gosh, why don't they just shut up? They're so noisy. My alarms hasn't gone off yet. I don't want to have to listen to them and all sorts of other stuff that's probably not appropriate for this video. So it's such a good example because the birds are just the birds. The birds are just the birds. They're just doing their thing. They're fulfilling their life's purpose by being out there chirping, hanging out, and kind of getting the day started. And one person can have one experience of what that might mean, or, can apply one meaning, and another person can apply a completely different meaning. And the same would be true in something like, when we're driving along and somebody, cuts us off in traffic. So we could have this attitude of that person did that to me. They're so rude. They're unsafe. That big bleepity bleeping, whatever you might say to yourself about them. Again, probably not appropriate for this video if I were to share what I sometimes say about these folks. But anyway, so the fact is that it's just a driver, it's just another human. They're just driving their car, they just change lanes or whatever, whatever it may be. So I can choose to think that this is something that's happening to me, or I could think this is something that's happening for me. So maybe I can think something like, yes, this person is sacrificing themselves to the police that are up there. So they're going to get the ticket, maybe instead of me, if I might have been speeding. Or, maybe this person is on their way trying to get to a loved one or trying to get somebody to the hospital or whatever. And I can have some gratitude that, gosh, it's not me. I'm just on my way to the grocery store or whatever. And thank goodness, I'm cruising along in this lovely day. While they're having whatever experience that they're having. So this applies, and this can be tough to hear, but this applies to all things. Life is just life. And so I'll just, another example would be with loss. So if we lose someone that's important to us in our life, we lose a sibling or a family member or whatever, we can rage, we can be angry. Some people will, rage at God or, whoever, whatever your belief system is. And you can be so angry and think that this isn't fair and this is something that's being done to me. Or you can shift and think like, oh, just having that little bit of time with them was so special that I'm just grateful for that little bit of time. And I understand that you might want to push against, a commentary like that. It might be like, no, I'm not into this airy fairy bullshit or whatever. But I'll just invite you, and this doesn't have to be true for you. It's just one thing that I wonder about that I'm just, sharing with you so that maybe you can ponder it the next time you think life is happening to you instead of for you. And again, I just wonder if life is just life. Things just occur as they just occur. It might rain, it might snow, it might, the sun might shine, and none of these things are happening to us. We apply meaning to these things. So if we have something really great going on and we were hoping the sun was going to shine, but instead it's pouring, we can get angry about it and think that life is so terrible and whatever, or we can shift that a little bit and just have a little bit of gratitude or even neutrality. I mean, we don't have to be super happy about every little thing that happens to us, and that's all okay, but it's okay to have, a little bit of neutrality there as well. So anyway, I guess I would just submit to you or ask you to ponder, in your free time, um, what what meaning you're putting on different things that have happened to you or have not happened to you. Another one, sorry, I'll just throw this out there too. Another one might be if you text a friend or call a friend and they haven't texted you back or they haven't called you back, and you might think they're doing this because they don't like me or I'm not important to them or whatever. Again, you might apply so much meaning to what for them is, they read your text when they were sitting. This is something I do all the time. I read a text because it pops up when I'm sitting at a stoplight, but I don't have the opportunity to respond just then. And so, I plan to respond later, and then 2 seconds later, it's just out of my mind and I'm off and running with something else. It doesn't mean that I don't love and appreciate and value that person or want to respond to them or whatever. It just means that it's slipped out of my mind. And so I'll just invite you again to just become aware of, without judgment. This is not to judge anything, but without judgment, to just have an awareness and just notice the meaning that you are applying to different things going on in life. And I'll just ask you to ponder what it would be like if you were to allow yourself to apply a different meaning to that. And the power that comes with that, it is this really beautiful, wonderful experience of pulling your power back to yourself and knowing that I'm the one who gets to decide how I feel or how I don't feel about whatever is going on or isn't going on. And it will change your life. So I hope this is helpful. If you have anything that you're like, oh, I don't know how to think about this, this is how I'm thinking about this, like what's another option, I'm happy to help. Throw out some other potential options for different ways to be thinking about things. You feel free to shoot me a message or um, DM me or comment on this video or text me, and hopefully I won't read it when I'm sitting at a stoplight and I'll remember to get right back to you. But anyway, I hope this is helpful. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.